Imagine this. What if you could eliminate 93% of your problems? Just pause for a moment and consider what that would mean. The stress, the anxiety, the daily frustrations, suddenly, all of it reduced. Can you feel the weight lifting already? Can you see how much more energy, focus, and joy you would have in life? It's not a fantasy. It's achievable through Stoicism. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, lived through war, personal loss, and political turmoil. Yet they found peace and purpose through timeless life lessons that remain as powerful today as they were 2,000 years ago. These principles are not just ideas. They are practical tools that anyone, including you, can use to solve most of life's problems. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 Stoic principles that can help fix 93% of your problems. Each lesson will give you clarity, control, and peace. Stick with me until the end, and I promise you will leave with a new way of approaching life's challenges. And if you find value in this video, don't forget to subscribe to Be Stoic, where we make ancient wisdom practical for the modern world. Lesson 1. The power of perspective. Let's start with the first and perhaps most important principle, the power of perspective. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Reflect on that. How often do we let small inconveniences or negative events control our emotions, turning a minor issue into a full-blown crisis? What if I told you that most problems are not about the events themselves, but about how we interpret them? The Stoics understood that our perception shapes our reality. When you change the way you see a problem, the problem itself changes. Imagine this scenario. You're driving to work and you're stuck in traffic. The delay isn't the problem. It's your reaction to it. You might feel frustrated, anxious, or even angry. But what if you reframed that moment as a chance to practice patience, to enjoy a podcast, or to reflect on your day? This shift in perspective can make stressful situations less overwhelming. Suddenly, the external world hasn't changed, but your internal world has. By learning to master your perceptions, you take control of your experience. Think of a situation in your own life where perspective makes all the difference. Perhaps you received critical feedback at work. Instead of feeling defensive, what if you viewed it as an opportunity to grow and improve? In every challenge, ask yourself, am I seeing this clearly, or am I letting my emotions distort my view? When you adopt the Stoic power of perspective, you find that many of your so-called problems are simply illusions of the mind. Problems that once seemed insurmountable become manageable, or even opportunities for growth. This alone can solve a large portion of the issues that weigh us down. Take a moment right now. What is one problem in your life that you can change simply by changing the way you see it? Pause, reflect, and consider, is this problem truly as big as I've made it in my mind? Lesson 2. Control what you can, accept what you can't. The second principle is perhaps one of the most liberating ideas in Stoicism. Control what you can and accept what you can't. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." How much of our suffering comes from trying to control things we have no power over? We stress about other people's opinions, the actions of our co-workers, the unpredictability of life. But the Stoics teach us to recognize the boundary between what is within our control and what is not. Once you identify this boundary, you free yourself from a significant amount of stress. Let me ask you, how often do you stress over things you cannot change? Think about it. Other people's behavior, the weather, the economy, traffic. These things are entirely outside of your control. What is in your control? Your thoughts, your actions, your responses. When you focus on what you can control, you regain power over your life. Imagine you're waiting for an important job interview result. You've done your best to prepare, but now the decision is out of your hands. The Stoic approach would be to focus on what's within your control, your attitude, how you prepare for the outcome, and your ability to move forward regardless of the result. Instead of stressing over the uncontrollable, you center your attention on what you can influence. This doesn't just apply to job interviews, it applies to every aspect of life. Whether it's a relationship, a financial situation, or even a health issue, ask yourself, what can I control here? What can't I? Right now, think about a situation in your life that's causing stress. What parts of it are within your control? Focus on those. And for the things outside your control, practice letting go. Imagine how much lighter your life would feel if you stopped trying to control the uncontrollable. Lesson 3. Discipline, the foundation of freedom. Next, let's talk about discipline, the foundation of a Stoic life. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." And bravery in Stoicism is about having the discipline to act according to your values, even when it's hard. Discipline isn't glamorous, and it's certainly not easy, but it's the key to long-term happiness and success. Think about it. How many of your problems are the result of a lack of discipline? Maybe it's procrastination, poor habits, or emotional impulsiveness. The Stoics believed that by practicing discipline in our daily lives, we can avoid a significant amount of self-inflicted suffering. Discipline in the Stoic sense isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. Over time, small acts of discipline compound into massive results. Whether it's committing to a fitness routine, managing your finances responsibly, or maintaining emotional control during stressful situations, discipline allows you to align your actions with your long-term goals, rather than your fleeting desires. Imagine you're trying to build a new habit, like exercising regularly or managing your time more effectively. It's easy to make excuses. I'm too tired today. I'll start tomorrow. But the Stoic way is to recognize that true freedom comes from discipline. By consistently taking small steps, getting up a little earlier, choosing the healthier meal, or focusing on your tasks for just 10 more minutes, you build the foundation for a disciplined life. Over time, discipline solves problems before they arise. You avoid the stress of last-minute deadlines, the guilt of poor choices, and the frustration of stagnation. Ask yourself, where in my life am I lacking discipline? What problems are arising as a result? And most importantly, what small, consistent actions can I take starting today to bring more discipline into my life? Lesson 4. Embrace discomfort. Growth through challenge. The next Stoic principle is one that many people shy away from: embracing discomfort. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does this mean in the context of discomfort? It means that discomfort is inevitable, but how you respond to it is where your power lies. Most people avoid discomfort. They seek out comfort in every aspect of their lives, avoiding difficult conversations, shying away from new challenges, and choosing the easy path at every turn. But Stoicism teaches us that discomfort is not something to fear. In fact, it's something to embrace, because discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Everything worth achieving in life requires stepping out of your comfort zone. Whether it's building a career, improving your health, or developing stronger relationships, discomfort is the price you pay for progress. Consider a scenario where you've been avoiding something difficult, perhaps starting a new project at work, or addressing a conflict in a relationship. Avoiding discomfort only allows the problem to fester and grow. But when you lean into discomfort, when you have that tough conversation or take on that challenging project, you begin to solve the problem and you come out stronger on the other side. This principle applies to every area of life. Whether it's a cold shower, a hard workout, or a difficult decision, the Stoics believed that by embracing discomfort, you build mental toughness and resilience. What's one area of your life where you've been avoiding discomfort? How could facing that discomfort today improve your life in the long run? Write it down. Take one step toward it now. Lesson 5. Focus on the present moment. The fifth Stoic principle is one you've probably heard before: But how often do we truly practice it? Focus on the present moment. Epictetus warned, "Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems." Think about it. How much of your stress comes from worrying about the future or regretting the past? The Stoics teach us that the past is gone, the future is uncertain, and the only thing we truly have is the present. By focusing on what is happening right now, you take back control over your thoughts and actions. Let's say you're anxious about an upcoming event, a presentation, an important meeting, or even a medical result. Your mind starts racing with what-ifs, but none of these fears are real right now. They're just projections. By grounding yourself in the present moment, you can reduce anxiety and make better decisions. Take a deep breath. Focus on what's happening right now. What can you do in this moment to prepare? How can you bring yourself back to the present instead of getting lost in imagined futures? What's one thing in your life that causes you anxiety or stress? How much of that anxiety comes from focusing on the future rather than the present moment? Pause. Breathe. Focus on what's happening now. Lesson 6. Practice negative visualization. Prepare for the worst. One of the most counterintuitive Stoic practices is negative visualization, imagining the worst-case scenario. Seneca, the Roman Stoic, taught that by contemplating potential losses or setbacks, we prepare ourselves mentally for life's challenges. But don't mistake this for pessimism. The goal isn't to dwell on the worst, but to remove its power over you. By imagining the worst and accepting that you could handle it, you build resilience. You become less afraid of loss and more grateful for what you have. Let's say you're afraid of losing your job or facing a financial setback. Rather than letting that fear consume you, try practicing negative visualization. Imagine what would happen if you lost your job. How would you cope? Could you find another one? Could you adjust your budget? By preparing for the worst in your mind, you take away its power. You remind yourself that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you. Now take a moment to reflect. What are you grateful for in your life right now? How would your perspective change if you considered the possibility of losing it? Let that awareness fill you with gratitude for the present moment. Lesson 7. The virtue of temperance. Balance is key. Temperance is the next Stoic virtue we'll explore, and it's all about moderation. Epictetus said, "If one oversteps the bounds of moderation, the greatest pleasures cease to please." In today's world, it's easy to live in excess. We overindulge in food, entertainment, social media, and work, leading to imbalance, stress, and dissatisfaction. But Stoicism teaches us that true happiness lies in moderation. By practicing temperance, whether in your diet, your work habits, or your emotions, you find balance. You enjoy life's pleasures without becoming enslaved by them. Think about an area in your life where you've been overindulging. Maybe it's binge-watching TV shows, overeating, or working long hours at the expense of your health. What would change if you practiced temperance in this area? By setting boundaries, you create space for more meaningful activities and reduce the chaos in your life. Right now, take stock of one area in your life where you could benefit from more balance. Is it your work, your diet, your time spent on distractions? What small step can you take today to bring more temperance into your life? Lesson 8. The art of letting go. Letting go is one of the hardest yet most powerful practices in Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." So much of our suffering comes from clinging, whether it's to possessions, relationships, titles, or even old versions of ourselves. The Stoics teach us that everything in life is temporary. By holding on too tightly, we create our own suffering. The antidote is to let go, not in a careless way, but with acceptance, recognizing that nothing in life is ours to keep forever. Letting go allows us to live with more freedom, peace, and less fear. Imagine you've recently gone through a breakup. The pain of losing a relationship often comes not just from the loss itself, but from clinging to what you thought the relationship would be. Letting go of the attachment to that idea allows you to heal and move forward. The same applies to any aspect of life where you're holding on too tightly, whether it's a job, a goal, or even an identity. When you practice letting go, you free yourself from the heavy burden of control. What are you holding on to that's no longer serving you? A past relationship, a failed project, an old version of yourself? Take a deep breath and practice letting go. Notice how much lighter you feel when you release what no longer serves you. Lesson 9. The power of virtue. Aligning your actions with your values. Stoicism isn't just about reducing problems, it's about living virtuously. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." The Stoics believed that living with courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance is the ultimate goal. When we live according to virtue, many of life's problems fall away because we're no longer driven by fear, greed, or selfishness. Virtue simplifies decision-making and eliminates internal conflict. When your actions align with your values, life becomes clearer, and you reduce much of the noise that complicates your path. Imagine you're faced with a moral dilemma at work. You have the opportunity to take credit for someone else's idea, but you know it's not right. By choosing to act virtuously, you may face a more difficult path in the short term, but you avoid long-term problems, such as guilt, loss of respect, or damaged relationships. Living according to virtue not only simplifies your life, but builds a foundation of trust, respect, and peace. Take a moment to think about your values. Are your daily actions aligned with those values? If not, what small change can you make today to live more in harmony with the virtues you hold dear? Lesson 10. Amor Fati, love of fate, embracing every moment. The final principle we'll explore is one of the most profound, Amor Fati, the love of fate. Marcus Aurelius believed that everything happens for a reason and that we should embrace whatever life throws at us with open arms. He said, "Everything that happens, happens as it should." Amor Fati is more than just accepting your fate. It's about loving it. It's about seeing every challenge, every obstacle, and every success as a necessary part of your journey. When you love your fate, you stop resisting life. You stop wishing things were different and instead embrace every moment as an opportunity to grow. Imagine you faced a major setback, perhaps losing a job, experiencing a health issue, or dealing with personal failure. The Stoic approach is not just to tolerate it, but to love it, to see it as part of your path and to find meaning in it. Loving your fate transforms problems into opportunities. It changes how you see adversity and allows you to grow stronger through every experience. By loving your fate, you become more resilient, more adaptable, and more at peace with life's ups and downs. Right now, think about a challenge you're facing. Instead of resisting it, ask yourself, how can I embrace this? What lessons can I learn from this experience? By shifting your mindset, you may discover that even the toughest challenges carry hidden gifts. And there you have it, 10 Stoic principles that can solve 93% of your problems and lead you to a life of greater calm, purpose, and resilience. The beauty of Stoicism lies not just in knowing these principles, but in practicing them every single day. Remember, the power of Stoicism comes from consistent practice. Each day presents you with opportunities to apply these lessons, to grow stronger, and to live with more clarity and peace. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our Be Stoic community. Together, we'll continue to explore how ancient wisdom can bring more meaning and peace to modern life. Thank you for watching, and remember, the path to a stronger, more peaceful life is always within your control.